Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, everyone. This is Benjamin again. We will be continuing on module 2. We started this earlier on in the previous video, and I will start from cleaning data. Um, we talked about series and data frame earlier on, so we understand how to work on our data frame, introductory knowledge on series and data frame, the functions that we can use on them, how we can select series from a column of a data frame. So we talked about that already. Now let's dive deep diving deep rather. Sorry, dive deep. Let us dive deep into cleaning data. Right. There are a couple of things we need to take take very important when we are cleaning data. We usually want to consider missing values. We want to drop rows with this method, drop NA. Or otherwise, in another advanced way is to fill up the missing value. There are some situations where you don't want to drop your rows. So in that way, you just fill it up with a particular number, maybe with a median value or with an average value, or with the average value of the preceding cells or the average value of the cells after the missing value. So there are different ways of doing that. Also, we want to make sure to look into our data types. We want to convert strings to number or dates. Uh, you can convert to date using PD to datetime, or you can convert string to number using PD to numeric. These are very important things you need to do going forward. That will definitely help you in cleaning data. So we're also going to look at duplicate values and how to remove duplicate values. So let's dive deep into this. So now we'll still continue using our, remember we have our data. This is data frame to be this. So you remember we have our data frame to have a date, product, quantity, price, city, and total sales. Do not forget that. So from there, we want to try how many duplicate rows do we have in this data table. Let's see. If you want to do that, you use this particular method. Um, Duplicated object gives us the Boolean value of every row. Uh, if we have if it's duplicated or not. So here we have true, true. That means these rows are duplicated. That means they have the same value when we say duplicate. So it's duplicated uh across the same columns. So let me give you some heads up. So when you see false in this manner, it means 0, and when you see true, it means 1. Just take it like that. It's a Boolean is a Boolean order. So now we have some of the rows having true and many having false. So false means these are not duplicated, but true means this is duplicated. So now if you want to actually get the number of duplicated rows, you just put sum here. Yeah, just so here we have duplicated number of duplicated rows is we only have 2 of them here. So that's how you check for duplicated row in using pandas. Let's just run this. It's going to give us this because we are wrapping it inside a print function. Now we have 2 to be duplicated rows. Now how do we drop these duplicated rows? Because most times we don't want to work with duplicated rows. We just want to make sure that all our rows are unique. All our entries rather are unique in the table. So we go by using drop duplicate method. So this, you would ask, why are we assigning to data clean? Because this particular drop duplicates method would not save or would not affect the original data. It will only print it out to screen, but it will not save it as a record in the memory. So if you say data.drop duplicate, actually it has dropped a duplicate. As you can see that you have 1,000 rows here. But if you go back to data again, you're gonna see 10,000, 1,002 rows. That means it is not saving it in the record. So how do we save it into record? So it's either you assign it to another variable. As soon as you assign it to another variable, when you check the shape of this new variable, you're going to see that it has updated the value. So another method is using an in place is called to true. This is something you might need to look at or look when you are getting to an advanced level. But for now, let's just use the data on the underscore clean, assign the new duplicate the data that has been cleaned to this new variable data underscore clean. I hope this is very clear. You can always put questions in the WhatsApp chat. I'll be willing to answer it. There are a lot of things that are on the line here. I'm just giving you something that would be useful for at the introductory level. So let's run this. As soon as we run this, we need to check the shape and see what happens. Remember, we had 1,002 values in our row before. Now we are expecting 2 to be removed. So we have this. Now we need to drop rows where quantity or price per kg is missing. So the previous one was duplicated rows. Now we are looking at rows that have NA. NA is typically not a number. So or we call it null. How do you do that? You do that by saying calling the clean data and appending like dots drop NA method on it. So this parameter subset is the one that gives you the specific column that we are targeting. Remember, there might be particular not a number in another column that is not of interest. For example, if our date column does not have a not and does have a not a number or a null in it, it might not be a major problem because we can actually backfill or yeah, something like that. But there are specific instances that there are some columns that are very sensitive. When you have not a number in it, you just rather drop it just to be very safe. So here we are specifying any column that any cell that has a missing value in its column, in this column and this column should be dropped. So if we run this, you will see after we check the length of data clean here, you see it has reduced from 1,000 to 992. That means we dropped 8 rows based on null values. So here we have a note on drop NA. Whenever you use drop NA, always try to use subsets. The subset is the one that specifies the column that you want to target. You don't want to you don't want to throw a drop NA into your whole data frame because this can be very catastrophic. Many of our columns that are not really very useful could carry a null value and which will not affect our analysis. But there are some specific columns that must not have NA or null value, which of course will affect our analysis going forward. So we rather just specify the columns I want to target, because pandas will delete any row that has a missing value in any column if you don't specify the subset. So by specifying the columns, we ensure that only we only throw data away that is truly broken, like when you have your price missing, and we keep rows that might be missing less critical information. So this is very important. Let's go to another method. This is going to be very useful in machine learning. Whenever you want to run your analysis, that's going to be for the subsequent courses. So sometimes deleting rows using drop NA might cause us to lose a lot of data. So instead of doing that, we probably want to use a fill to fill the columns. So these are the steps to do that. The first thing is to calculate the replacement. For example, if you are targeting your total sales, if there's a non-value in the total sales, which of course we don't have that because we generated our total sales based on our existing columns. So we do not have a null value there yet. But in case if we do, then this is the method that you're gonna use. You calculate this is just picking up the total sales column alone, and you append a dot mean method on that series, because this is a series as it stands. So we calculate the average of the existing value to use as our filler. So then you apply the filler here by using fill NA and attaching the average sales that we are already calculated here. So this is more of a chain method. We are chaining this method onto this into an existing um, line of code. So if usually this will look at the total sales column, and if it finds a NaN or a null, so it plugs in the average sales. Sometimes we also use a backfill and forward fill. So these are advanced machine learning methods. Sometimes we use a nearest neighbor algorithm to fill up our missing value. So this is kind of advanced for this course, but why do this? Why do we have to do this? So, like I said, this keeps our data set the same and allow us to keep the information in that row. Uh, if the information that is missing a particular column that is not of strong interest, then we don't have to delete all the rows for that purpose. So, another thing that we want to look at is how to convert our date to a datetime, to make sure it's stored as datetime. So this is important. You can always use this code or copy it anytime you want to do operation on datetime uh, column. If a column has a date and time, which of course we do have it, so we just want to make sure the the date column it's actually datetime data type.